see there's a new Kirby game came out? Come on, man, you gotta wake up, you better sleep for a whole year. Did you know it's Halloween? Oh, shit! Yes! Welcome back to another spectacular year of Halloween. This year we are once again going to be talking about something scary as I have risen up from the grave once again after a whole year to talk about something on the channel. Sorry about that, by the way. And so I thought to myself, hey, last year we talked about 5 scary moments in non-horror games, but I neglected to talk about one particular franchise. Let's go to the most non-horror franchise of all of gaming. Mario.
Mario travels through all kinds of different locations. Grasslands, deserts, tundras, oceans, volcanoes, etc. But Mario seems to have a knack for horror, so on his way to give himself a big bite of peach, he decides to stop by his local haunted house and is like, screw it, I could use less sleep. Haunted levels, or ghost houses, have been a trend in mainline Mario games, and especially the spin-offs for some time now. And most of the time, they usually add an interesting, different kind of spice compared to the rest of Mario's adventures. Today, I'm going to be talking about at least a majority of them. However, I'm going to be sticking to the mainline Mario games only, so no Mario Kart tracks and sadly no Luigi's Mansion here. Listen, if I were talking about the haunted levels in Luigi's Mansion, I'd be talking about the entirety of all 3 games. And that's not for today.
So enough dilly-dally, let's get the E for Everyone spooks on, because I can't be bothered to play Outlast or Five Nights at Freddy's.
So, Super Mario World is the game where haunted-themed levels first began showing up. Boos appeared as enemies in Mario 3, but they're everywhere in these stages. These haunted levels play out a lot more like puzzle levels instead of going straight from point A to point B. There are also some more spooky enemies like Big Boos, these ghosts that kind of just go straight, and these green ball things. They're tough to dodge, but they just kind of exist. There's also a secret boss fight with a Big Boo in a secret ghost house, and it's a pretty unique boss fight. This definitely paved the way for future 2D haunted levels, and kind of all Mario haunted levels in general, as we'll see. It has a nice creepy atmosphere to it, and I like the intro to these levels, where Mario stares up at the haunted house and then walks in. Good start. Good start.
Hey, you aren't gonna forget about the handheld games, are you? No.
No, I didn't forget about Super Mario Land 2's haunted level. Okay, fine, I totally did, but not because I don't care about this game or anything. No, this is a really good game for the Game Boy. I just forgot it had an entire world dedicated to haunted levels, so let's briefly cover what this has to offer. Okay, so these levels are actually far more unique than Super Mario World's haunted levels. For starters, we have a variety of enemies that are references to all kinds of things. Hey look, it's Mr. Friday the 13th. Boos of course return as well, and we have some interesting level gimmicks going on here. I like the one in the 3rd stage where these blocks light up and then darken to blend in with the environment. Super Mario Land 2 is definitely very varied in its environments compared to any other 2D Mario game in my opinion. This world then caps off with a boss fight with this witch where she attacks by summoning fire, and she'll also shoot some at these pots which make their lids fly off to use as platforms to attack her easily. You know, I kind of forgot about this one, but this is definitely one of the most unique 2D Mario haunted levels out there, I gotta say. And I can understand why people would be mad at me if I forgot it. Now, this is the level I'd assume a lot of people would jump to when Haunted Mario levels are on the mind. It's the first 3D Haunted level, and it's one of the most iconic Haunted levels in this series. Super Mario 64's Big Boo Haunt is definitely a step up from the ghost houses in Mario World, in my personal opinion. You start by hopping into this tiny cage, and the first thing you see is the big haunted house engulfing your screen as the sound of some pretty strong winds demolish your ears. Now, when you first hop into the level, your first task is to defeat all of the boos in the area, which can actually be defeated now by jumping on them or running around and punching them. I also love how every time you kill one, a text box appears saying, "Ghosts don't die." We'll see about that. After defeating all of them, the boss of the area, Big Boo, spawns in the area, and you defeat him by hitting him like the smaller boos 3 times. And you have to fight him 3 times. Why? If you fall in one of the rooms in this stage, you fall into the basement where a deadly merry-go-round hides. You only have to access it once, but you can also access it via the warehouse outside. And of course, we can't forget about the piano room. A piano sits in there, and I want to sit in that seat and play, but of course I can't because nightmare fuel. I'm not embarrassed to admit that this scared me more than the eel in Jolly Roger Bay. This is really a solid haunted level though. Definitely a memorable part of the game. I don't know if I'd consider it my favorite level, but it's definitely at least a bit of fun. It only really gets annoying when trying to get all 100 coins.
And then the next 3D game, Super Mario Sunshine, happened.
Oh geez, where do I begin here? Well, naturally the first thing you encounter on Serena Beach is the missing hotel, followed by a boss fight with a giant manta ray shadow. Now, I know some people hate this fight, but I actually kind of like this boss fight. One of the most memorable parts of Super Mario Sunshine, in my opinion. You spray it and it just keeps splitting up until you get all of them a small size and they all turn pink and try to obliterate you. The stage becomes such a hot mess during the boss, and I kind of like it in some weird way. I don't know. I'll look into it. Once you do that, the hotel comes back and now you have to go inside it and it's haunted. Oh geez, I wonder where Luigi's Mansion 3 got its inspiration from. These boos got an interesting redesign too. Their eyes look like they've seen tragedies and they can't stop drooling for some reason. There are these pink boos as well that turn into platforms when you spray them, and it's used to access the first secret level of the area. After the first 2 stages though, this stage becomes a fucking piece of shitty ass piles. Episode 3 has you go through the air vents to get in this stupid pool where the shine sprites are, and you need Yoshi to use his tongue to eat these damn boos that are clogging up the vents, and Yoshi got stuck, so I had to go get him again, and it was miserable and I hated it. Yeah, you can do a wall clip that skips this entire level, but I'm judging this level for how it was intended to be, damn it. And then we have episode 4, which has you go into the casino to access the second secret level of the area. You have to mess with these slot machines, and it isn't that terrible until you get to the last challenge before accessing the level where you need to spray these tiles to form a shine sprite picture. Fuck this part. It was bad enough on the GameCube version, but it is a damn nightmare on the Switch version 3D All-Stars using the digital triggers so you can't be accurate with the spraying. Oh, but there's even more shit. Episode 5 has one more boss. Gang Boo. This boss sucks giant chunky dingus because you have to spin his slot machine to match 3 fruit in a row to chuck a pepper at him and then fruit. The problem is that it is complete RNG whether you get that or not, and it can take forever sometimes to get the 3 fruit. And you have to do this 3 times, and each time I missed, I had to slog through his other attacks, which could take forever to go away. I gave up recording footage after this. I was insanely frustrated, so I had to stop. This is definitely at the bottom of the barrel in terms of Haunted Mario levels. I don't know if I'd say it's the worst level in the game, but it's pretty unenjoyable. There are some good parts of this stage like I mentioned, but it's definitely a low point in the Super Mario Sunshine.
Man, what you talking about? Super Mario Sunshine is my favorite 3D Mario game. Clearly you're just bad. Shut up!
So this is access in Big Boo's Haunt on the 3rd story. Hop through Luigi's painting and you're greeted with a level where you need to guess which door is the right path to take while an evil laugh constantly taunts you through the whole level. Once you find your way through, you get to fight Big Boo? Okay, so which is which? These two have the exact same name. Why isn't this King Boo? He clearly has a crown on his head. Anyway, the boss fight is way better than the previous fights with Big Boo. Sometimes he's only visible through the mirror, so you have to judge where he is based on looking through there. It's not an amazing fight by any means, but it's what the Big Boo fight should have been. Other than that, this level just kinda exists as a blockade to unlocking Luigi in this game, and not much else to say.
Did somebody ask for unoriginality? You know, I indeed could talk about all of the individual haunted levels of the new Super Mario game separately, but you know what? I'm a little bored. Welcome to Platinum Warpstar's shitty rap segment. So the DS game has these pumpkin guys. No, they're not Goombas in disguise. Plus, there's no map on the bottom screen, so that's enough to make me green. The Wii game has a lot of darkness. Flying objects and mice also make a mess. These punk-ass ghosts are punching guys. They hit the barrel and then Mario dies. NSMB2 has some thick-ass boos, and for the entire fucking level they will chase you. Then NSMBU has a fucking ghost ship, an original idea that I will worship. Then there's a painted level, and it's great. Aren't all the levels like this? Damn it, that's bait. I don't care to talk about Luigi U. The themes are the same, so boo-hoo! If you show this to me in like 10 years, I'm gonna be mad at you.
Holy crap, on a motorcycle, this is how you do a good haunted level. First off, I love the atmosphere. Look at this skybox, it looks very spooky. The level design, like nearly every other Mario Galaxy level, is fantastic. I love running and jumping through these areas, and the objective of the first mission is to save Luigi. He's actually acknowledged for the first time in an original 3D Mario game that isn't a remake. We're also introduced to the Boo Mario power-up for the first time. It's admittingly not my favorite power-up in the game, but it is pretty fun shaking the controller to become invisible for a brief moment. Just be sure to lose the power-up when you're done so you don't scare Luigi. There's also a really cool secret star that makes you go through this cool level where you can only stand on visible matter, and it's great. I assume that Koopa the Quick must have been killed and put in this game because you need to race this Boo in a race using the pull stars, which is pretty fun. Has an interesting shortcut you can pull off too, but for me, the highlight of this level is the last star. That's primarily because the main boss of this area is one of my personal favorites in the game. You're introduced to these black boos as enemies and you swing them around circles by using their tongues and flinging them into a destructible object so they can explode. Okay, how about we call them bomb boos instead? So Boulder Geist throws rocks at you, also throws spiky rocks to block your way, and you must defeat him by flinging the bomb boos into him until he loses all of his rocks. And then you can hurt his feelings by disrespecting him with one last bomb boo. Psych, he grows hands and tries to deck you in the face. You only have to do this process twice, but man, I love this boss fight. Dare I say it's my favorite haunted Mario boss fight? Well, there aren't a lot of those in the mainline game, so yeah, it isn't really hard to give it that title. Either way, fantastic haunted level. It even feels like Halloween themed and not just a typical ghost house, and I love that. Definitely the best haunted level so far.
And the bastards made a sequel.
Listen, you can't beat perfection. Yeah, right off the bat, I think Galaxy 1's haunted level is way better, but that doesn't mean that this is bad by any means. In fact, we have 2 haunted levels. Let's cover both. Lots of fast-moving platforms here, and in the first star, you get to use Yoshi with the bulb fruit which lights up your pathway, and it's an interesting spin on the disappearing matter gimmick in the first game. I like it. Then in star 2, we have these dry bone heads eating up the platform, and then in 2 parts of the level, you're chased by a giant boo for a short bit. Kinda gives me vibes to a Crash Bandicoot chase sequence. The second haunted level starts you in a maze for both stars. I'm immediately turned off. But it is made up for with these snake block segments, with the whole level being folded, which is pretty nuts. You get to collect 5 star pieces on the fucking moon. And there's a part where you have to collect 5 silver stars on this cool little pop-up book platform. That's pretty nice, actually. I like this. Oh, and Star 2 is basically a 2D Boo Mario level. It's pretty good, but not too special. That's kinda honestly how I'd sum up Super Mario Galaxy 2's haunted levels. They're good levels, well designed and all, but it really just isn't as memorable as Galaxy 1's haunted level in my opinion. That one is hard to top, but I can't forget to talk about this. There's an infamous Easter egg where if you look up at a certain point of the skybox in Shiverburn Galaxy, you can see these aliens staring down at you. I have no idea why they're there, and there are a lot of theories about them, but I just don't know. I guess it's to kinda spook the players? I'll let the theorizers of video games handle that one. I mean, probably most notable about this game's haunted levels are that the boos have tails. Okay, seriously, this is a handheld 3D Mario game that plays like a 2D Mario game, so I guess naturally the haunted levels are not too special? I mean, they're fine, but I can mainly just note that there's sections with disappearing and reappearing platforms, some neat platforms like this giant piano in this library area, and big boos, I guess. Yeah, I really don't have much to say on these, honestly. There's nothing too over the top or special about them. It even reuses the Ghostly Galaxy music from Galaxy 1. They're fine, they're well designed, not much else, but it does kinda make sense because this is an original 3D Mario game on a handheld, so I guess they're cool for what they are. Though there is another creepy Easter egg if you stand in this exact spot in this specific level. Okay, why are these in the game?
Man, I play kids games for a reason. Why do I have to be dealing with some scary spooks?
So, Super Mario 3D World has the same formula as Super Mario 3D Land, but I can say that these are more unique than 3D Lands. They're in glorious HD now, so whenever you go to the exterior of these levels, the rain effects look pretty great, like the water trickling down the walls. Also, at the very least, the first one does look a lot more like a house level rather than floating abyss with walls, if you know what I mean. Anyways, we got some floating couches, moving stairs, and of course, big boos. I love the new haunted level music as opposed to reusing Galaxy's music again. Also, there are fake out objects again, which kind of goes back to the whole feeling of the level being a bit tricky, you know, like a ghost house should be. And the other levels are pretty different from one another. The next haunted level takes place on a stormy ghost ship and it looks great. And also the bullies come back from Mario 64 in this game. I did not expect that at the time. I also like how this part has rising water in the interior of the ship. It looks nice. The last one before the special world takes place in a very dark abyss with walls, but this one's pretty neat because you ride on this spinning platform while you're supposed to wear this flashlight box on your head, so not only can you see in the darkness much better, but you can actually make the ghosts die. Hold on a second, did we just kill the already dead? How is an already spirit-like figure turned into a spirit? Wait, so Super Mario 3D World must be hinting at something. There's the Afterlife, and then there's the Afterlife Mark II. Okay, I think I'm going crazy. So, the 3D World has some good haunted levels. They're nice to look at. The music's great. Tricky level design. Solid 7.5 haunted level on Haunted Gaming Network.
And with 3D World down, that means there's only one more Mario game to cover.
So Super Mario Odyssey's gotta have the greatest haunted level, right?
There is none!
That is actually quite sad that the tradition of haunted levels in mainline Mario games is broken. I mean, if you're desperate, I guess you could say that the Ruined Kingdom is that, but I don't know, honestly. It doesn't feel like it's haunted, more so just a dark and moody area with a dragon boss fight. I mean, boos are nowhere to be seen in Super Mario Odyssey. They're completely gone. The most spooky thing Odyssey has is they released a zombie outfit near Halloween time of 2018. That's about it. I guess before we close up, there are a few things to mention. In the Super Mario Advance 4 remake of Super Mario Bros. 3, there were a bunch of e-reader levels that could previously only be accessed by scanning e-reader cards with an e-reader, but now they can all be played on the Wii U Virtual Console version of the game, and they feature maze-like haunted levels which were not present in Super Mario Bros. 3. Then, in Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker 2, Ghost House level themes were actually added to both Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3, along with the other themes that weren't in those games, both with completely new music by Koji Kondo, and it's excellent. But that about covers it. I'm sure I missed a few things, but that covers the haunted levels in Mario games. Now, these aren't absolutely everyone's favorite parts of Mario games, but they're definitely unique. There's not really any other location type in these games like the haunted ones. Pretty much the rest of these games are all filled with bright, colorful, and jolly visuals with upbeat music. But it's nice to have a change of pace like this every once in a while before the climactic ends with the lava-filled castles and final Bowser fights. Though, Nintendo, if you're gonna put a haunted level in the next mainline Mario game, please have it as Halloweeny and amazing as Super Mario Galaxy and heck, even Super Mario 64's haunted levels. Okay, bye.
It is always nice to have a little bit of a nice spook every once in a while. So, for as bad as some of these levels can be, and also for as good as some of these levels can be, it's admittingly a nice change of pace nonetheless. And in the end, it wasn't about the frustration, it was about the friends we made along the way.